5 miles. And Gurudev started getting excited, mentioning his athletic prowess. And he said, at that time also I was very strong. And this. So Gurudev was a very accomplished athlete, and he said because of that, then the police department sought him out. So they sent people to recruit him to become a police officer, and Gurudev, gradually accepted that, which was a very, good job. Obviously, just like I'm not going to start talking about police right, and it's probably not the best time. But
You're claiming to fame.
yeah. But anyway, so Gurudev became part of the police department, and of course he excelled in everything he did. The Acharya Leela is a very interesting thing because whatever sections of the life of the Acharya, like if you read Salikata Jivani of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Salikata Jivani is his biography, but it was really meant as a letter to his son. You know that, right? To Lalit Prasad, so forth. So it wasn't really ever meant to be like a public thing, but later on, obviously, people find it and it becomes out. And a lot of his Acharya Leela is spoken there. So the Acharya Leela may contain many things that people may mistake for mundane sort of things. Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions like his unfoldment. Oh, I learned more about bhakti as this happened or as that happened. And as my understanding grew. So of course we know Bhaktivinoda Thakur to be not only a Mahapurush, but also to be Kamala Manjari. You understand? So it's very important that when we read or hear the Acharya Leela, we understand that it is a Leela that they're performing. Right? Even if someone has become Sadhana Siddha, I asked Gurudev this in Houston on a morning walk, that Gurudev, sometimes it's described that one should always see their Guru as Nitya Siddha. But what of those who become Siddha by Sadhana? He said, they may be Sadhana Siddha or Nitya Siddha, but the Sishya, the disciple, should see my Gurudev as Nitya Siddha. Because in this way their faith can be fully connected. If the person know themselves they're not Nitya Siddha, they know they may not be Sadhana Siddha. Of course, one should not take the role of giving Harinam, Diksha, etc. unless they're at least Sastrayakti Sunipunya, according to Rupa Goswami Pad. Everybody know this verse? Sastrayakti Sunipunya Jyoshara Yandra, Uttamari Kari Se Tare Sangsar. Those who are faith, their faith is fixed, and they have Uttamarikar and eligibility of the practice of sadhana because they are Sastra Yukti Sunipuna. It means they're Sastravit and they have the Yukti, logic, and application of Sastra. The word Yukti normally means logic, but it also means application. In other words, if you're Sastravit, right, and you understand that we're not these bodies, and you see somebody's falling on the ground, you say, I'm very Sastravit, get up off the ground, it's not your body. That's not Yukti in terms of application of Sastra. You understand? And even in a more subtle way, last week, myself, Sahadev, Sanatan Prabhu, we went to do a preaching program at a very nice ashram here now they have in Madison, Florida. I encourage devotees to go and visit those devotees there. His name is Keshav Gopal and his wife Karuna Gopi. Very sweet devotees, and they've opened a small ashram there, and they're inviting a lot of new people to come. So even I encourage maybe as a group one day we should take a trip there and just really enliven them and encourage them. But anyway, there was all new people, and the idea was that some of them were from a Christian background and everything, but they had some affinity towards coming to hear about bhakti. But what we did was we made sure every single person there had a chance to speak and to share and so forth. So we didn't, bhakti is the highest path. So when you become more mature, you'll come to bhakti. You understand? Because the application of bhakti is that it should touch the heart. Our Srila Prabhupada in his Acharya Leela was very expert at that. He made all adjustments to capture the heart of all of the people in the Western world. You understand? So this is the Acharya Leela. So Gurudev in his Acharya Leela, he's very accomplished even in his work as a police officer. In fact, Gurudev told that his boss was a Bengali gentleman, because in India, especially in northern India, sometimes you'll find people from South India, Bengal, everything, they're all together. So his boss, the person who was in charge at that time, was a Bengali gentleman who was somewhat familiar with the Gaudiya Math and Vaishnavism. So he would invite Gaudiya Math sannyasis and Vaishnavas to come for preaching. And once he invited a group to come, and he invited Gurudev to come and hear them because he knew Gurudev to be a very religious person and so forth. So Gurudev went to hear from the sadhus who came, But of course, because it was comfortable for them to speak in Bengali language, they were speaking in Bengali. And Gurudev, at that time, he mentions that he was not, so familiar with Bengali language. So I asked Gurudev, not didn't ask, but Gurudev once was speaking, and he mentioned some, just like devotees from hearing so many verses in Sanskrit over so many years, you become somewhat familiar. So we're not Sanskrit scholars, but you begin to hear words and identify them. So he said he could identify some things, but it was not fluent that he could understand the flow of the Katha. But there was one Vaishnava who was traveling with them named Narottam Brahmachari. And he spoke English as well. And seeing Gurudev's veracity for hearing Harikatha, he came and spent time with Gurudev personally, not only on one occasion, but on other occasions, and spoke to him in English language, all the Katha that had been spoken. And Gurudev's heart became very much attached to the practice and the philosophy of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. So it mentions once Gurudev was so absorbed now, even before meeting his Gurudev, he was home and he was chanting one day, and he became so absorbed that he didn't go to work. So I could relate because it was many days. And I don't make this public too much here. But I would, whenever Gurudev would come to visit, I would always call in. And I remember it would happen like on such a regular basis at a certain point. The dispatcher one day said, Akridge, what do you want? Back, stomach, what do you want? And I just told him, because I said, since you know what's happening, I said, well, listen, whatever you decide to put down, I'm not coming. That's the bottom line. You understand? So we would go to be with Gurudev at Atul Prabhu's house, because at that time the Sangha was very small. So Pujapat Madhav Maharaj would be cooking, Brajanath would be engaged in services, sometimes Brinda Devi, Pundrik, others, they would have things to do or they would go shopping. So I would call to Sanatan Prabhu, Stai Baba Prabhu, Shanta Maharaj. We would go over and stay with Gurudev throughout the day. So then Gurudev would sit in a recliner type chair. And that chair was kind of a rocking chair, and I think it was also because Gurudev, or no, maybe Gurudev would just do this. And so we would sit there and Gurudev would just give Harikatha and talk. And I remember, because we had developed a nice regular pattern with it, Shanta Maharaj would bring his tape recorder, and then Stai Baba used to actually bring a whole video thing. So he would set up the video and everything. And then one day Gurudev just said, listen, stop bringing all these things here. What I want to give to you can't go inside the black box. It will have to go into your heart. So then we were all thinking, oh man, we're gonna miss this and miss that. And then Gurudev must have picked up the feeling that we had that, oh, we want to capture everything he's saying. Says, don't try to capture it here, try to capture here. So then he tugged his ear and said, and listen from here. Yeah. Understand? So we would go every day there, and then we would listen to Gurudev ask so many different questions about so many different things. So Gurudev said that he had this relationship with Narottam Brahmachari, where he would hear all the Harikatha. And he said on that day he chanted so much that he didn't go to work. So then he said he began to have some doubt. Well, I didn't show up. And that time probably you can't call on cell phone, I'm going to take sick leave or whatever. Right? So he said when he went to work the next day, he had some apprehension. What will happen now, because I missed my work. And there was some important case or something to be done. I can't remember the details. But when Gurudev arrived, everybody was giving applause. Like, oh, very good, very good. Oh, Tewariji, very good, very good. So Gurudev was somewhat surprised. But whatever it was that had been a sign that he was supposed to do was done, and it was done perfectly. So everybody was very happy, and Gurudev was thinking, well, I wasn't even here. So then Gurudev, he told that in relation to the story of Jayadev Goswami, and in his writing in Geet Govinda, when he had some apprehension about a particular verse to write, Smara Galanakandanam Mamasimar Simandanam Dehi Padapalavam Udharam. Then he didn't want to write this verse, and when he went out, he came back, he saw that the verse had been written. So Gurudev, he just made a comparison that, listen, to show that Krishna actually always takes care of his devotees, then he felt Krishna himself had done that job. So Gurudev's conviction around, practice of Gaudiya Vaishnavism became so strong, he went on the parikram. I think this was in 1946 perhaps, or something. He went on the parikram with Param Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Pragan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. And at the end of that parikram, he received Harinam and Diksh at the same time, at the end of that parikram. In that same time, 1946, 1947, he mentions is the first time he met our Swami Srila Prabhupada. Understand? Then in 1952, Srila Gurudev accepted sannyas, and of course the Keshavji Gaudiya Math had just opened around that time. So then Param Gurudev sent Gurudev to be in charge of that math there in Mathura, Keshavji Gaudiya Math, because of course that place is predominantly Hindi speaking and Brajbas, etc. So Gurudev took over charge of that math, and of course forever going, Gurudev is synonymous with Keshavji Gaudiya Math there in Mathura. And he's also the sort of loving sort of father figure of so many Brijabasis there in that area. So many speak so much affection about Gurudev. The very first time that I met Gurudev in 1886, I had gone on the Padayatra, and we went to Ram Janmabhoomi. And normally Ram Janmabhoomi would be closed because of the conflict around the Muslim community and the Hindu community, etc. So, but it was open for that year for some reason, so they decided ISKCON to go on a Padayatra there. So I went on that Padayatra. It was a really wonderful experience, but then when we were coming back, rather than going back to Mayapur, we went to Vrindavan. And when we got off at the train station in Mathura, I was with a couple of sannyasis and with Kundali Prabhu. I'll mention his name, I won't remember to mention the sannyasis' names. But they suggested that we go to Kesavji Gaudiya Math to see Srila Narayan Maharaj. And I was like, I don't know who it is. And then I remembered a little bit that Ayendra Prabhu, because myself and Ayendra were very close, had mentioned Gurudev a couple of times, but it didn't click in. So then they said, well, it was Ekadasi also. We were also tied, everything, but said, this is where Srila Prabhupada took sannyas. So then I thought, I want to see this place. So we went to Kesavji Gaudiya Math for that first time for me in 1986. And Gurudev's room was like Grand Central Station, pretty much. it was like people going and coming, random people would come, and I sat in the doorway. You know, I was always a big guy, so I just sat in the doorway because there was people inside. But Brijabasis would come through and they would like dive into the room, like, you know, dive on the floor. Oh, Gurudev. And then Gurudev would smile and be very affectionate, and then they would have these whole conversations for 2 minutes in Hindi, you know. And people, then some people would come in and start going, and they'd cry and they'd go like this because maybe they had done something wrong, so they were like, you know, begging Gurudev something. So it was a really wonderful scene. And then I later came to find out, because I was listening, because they were doing bhajans in the temple room, which was downstairs. Upstairs or down? I can't remember. Downstairs. Because Gurudev's room was on the second floor. And the devotee who was singing was Seshai Brahmachari. Yeah, and it was like just so amazing. And I remember thinking, I wish I had my tape recorder, because me and Ayendra, we had started that 24-hour kirtan in Vrindavan. This is 1986. So we used to get on rickshaws and ride around and tape melodies to use in the kirtan. So I was thinking, oh, if I had the tape recorder, I could tape, you know, some of these things. Because sometimes Gurudev would be speaking in Hindi and so forth, so I wasn't catching everything. But anyway, of course, later on, our Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, our Srila Prabhupada, he gave up his household life and everything, and he came, and in that very time that he did that, Gurudev, remembering him from 1946, 1947, told him to come to stay in Kesavji Gaudiya Math. So our Srila Prabhupada came and stayed there. Of course, Srila Prabhupada's history with Param Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj goes all the way back to the League of Devotees in Jhansi and so many things. So, you know, they had very, very close relationship. In fact, in 1968, when Param Gurudev entered into Samadhi, Srila Prabhupada made a decree that in all of our ISKCON temples, his photo should be placed there permanently. You understand? So I guess it never came to pass, but he requested that that should be there. And Srila Prabhupada wrote a very heartfelt letter and everything to Gurudev. But anyway, at that time, our Srila Prabhupada came and stayed in Kesavji Gaudiya Math. And when Pujapad Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj came back from traveling, he had convinced our Srila Prabhupada to accept sannyas along with Muni Maharaj, who became Muni Maharaj. I don't know what his name was prior, but there was another elderly gentleman named who became Muni Maharaj. But he convinced our Srila Prabhupada to take sannyas, and he himself, Gurudev did, performed all of the ceremonies, made our Srila Prabhupada's dunder, got his vesh, did the whole homa, did everything. So like this. And then he says that while Srila Prabhupada was living at Radha Damodar, he used to regularly go to Radha Damodar, and he said that they would make sabji, and then they would make rotis, chapatis. And he said Srila Prabhupada would roll the chapatis out, and Gurudev would take them and put them on the fire and toss them. And he said during this whole time they would speak Harikatha. You understand? So can you imagine what kind of conversations were going on? Nobody was talking about social events, the Super Bowl, or anything like that. You understand? Such a high class of Harikatha. This is why when Srila Gurudev affirmed that Al Srila Prabhupada was actually in Manjari Bhav, then if you had to take a evidence of who would have understood that best, those conversations that they had personally, and the fact that Al Srila Prabhupada asked Gurudev, as he was entering Samadhi, do two things for me. One is to help my disciples. Two, put me in Samadhi with your own hands. And the Samadhi is not a funeral or ritual. Samadhi is the entrance of that associate of the Lord entering back into the eternal pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So if you look at the video, they actually have the video. Gurudev used to speak about it, but now you can actually see it on video, where Srila Gurudev lifts the Uttariya of Srila Prabhupada and writes the appropriate mantras related to his seva on his chest. So now if there was any doubt about that, you can actually see it on video. You understand? So in this way, Srila Gurudev had so much close and intimate relationship also with Al Srila Prabhupada. In 2010, in Jagannath Puri, which is near the section in Puri which is related to Govardhan, Srila Gurudev ended his manifest pastimes, and the reason I'm speeding up is because I want to speak something about the glory of Srila Gurudev, especially in relation to the prophecy of Mahaprabhu, and there's many devotees here now, and I want to give them a chance to obviously share the Pushpanjali, and then I just want to briefly go over the Saptapanchak, what it is, and then allow devotees to start glorifications. So, in the Antya Leela of Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a prophecy. From his own mouth, in his divine ecstasy, he recited Priyachayata Nagararigram. Listen carefully. Savatra Prachar Hoibe Moanam. So what is the meaning of this verse? Every town and village? My name will be chanted and heard. This is also what I thought for so many years. Then I thought about it deeply. He's saying, Savatra Prachar Hoibe Moanam. Not my name only will be heard in every village, the prachar of my name will be taught in every village. So it's a very gulf of difference. You understand? The first installment of that prophecy was the manifestation of Al Srila Prabhupada taking the order of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur on his head. Agya Sirasi Dharane Shaktivesh Sarupine. Al Srila Prabhupada on the Jaladut praying for the empowerment of Nityananda, received that empowerment in order to manifest, because in order to enter into Gaur Leela, you have to get the mercy of whom? Gurudev, but whom also? Shri Nityananda. So he prayed for the mercy of Nityananda to bring the world under the auspices of that prophecy of Mahaprabhu. So he was completely empowered by Nityananda. Then all over the world, he spread the whole holy name along with the prachar. Where was the prachar of the holy name? Not only Srila Prabhupada speaking, but where did he put that prachar mostly? In his books. So therefore, Yan Kali Rupa Sharira Nadata Tan Raja Prema Mahanidhi Kutarika. In the same way, Mahaprabhu had so much treasure in his heart, but who revealed it? Shri Rupa Goswami by opening the treasure chest of Mahaprabhu's conceptions and teachings and everything. In the same way, the Kutarika of Srila Prabhupada was his books. So I'm not saying this. This was actually said by Srila Bhakti Rakshakshira Maharaj. When they were trying to understand the Swarupa of Srila Prabhupada, they had gone to Srila Bhakti Rakshakshira Maharaj on two occasions. One in April, and then one later on, and I think it was September, or something like that, in 1982. On the first time that they went to see Srila Shuddha Maharaj, he mentioned that yes, it seems that Swami Maharaj had an affinity for Sakya Ras based on the prayer on the Jaladut. The second time they came to see him, and I had the recording of this, they came to see him, and His Holiness Srila Bhakti Charu Swami, he asked the question, oh, Maharaj, so now that it has been concluded that Al Srila Prabhupada is in Sakya Ras, and Srila Srila Maharaj cut him off. Said, oh, It seems so. But listen, and then he went on to describe how Srila Prabhupada manifested the first installment of the teachings of the prophecy of Mahaprabhu. But he thought that in that first installment, Madhurya Rasa should not be revealed. So he put it inside of his books. You understand? In the same way, Rupa Goswami, he wrote all about the practice of Bhakti and Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu up to Madhurya Rasa. Then the details of Madhurya Rasa were put where? In Ujjalinamani. You understand? So in the same way, Srila Prabhupada wrote everything in his books, but it was covered. But in 1996, because after I met Srila Gurudev, I think it must have been around, I met Gurudev in 86, but I started writing, I think, in 90 or 91, because I know I'd just gotten on the police department. And I started writing to Srila Gurudev, and he would write me back. I still have my blue aerograms, the folding aerograms, I still got mine, right? And he would say, oh, I'm not coming to America, but whenever you come to India, I will do everything for you. I will take care of you, etc., etc. So I just got a police department, no chance to get off to go to India. I'd go to India from Africa every year. First time I got my work permit in Zimbabwe, I think it was 1984, every single year I'd go to India for 2 or 3 months, right, because I could pay for it in local currency. Of course, it's a sidetrack story, but the very first time I did that, I was in Zimbabwe. We had just opened a preaching center. So I got my ticket in local Zimbabwean currency, everything was good. We went to India for 3 months and everything. It was so ecstatic, my first time in India, everything. I came back, and when I got to the airport, the guy looked at my thing and said, oh, okay. He gave me a stamp for 7 days. So I had to leave in 7 days. I was in shock because I was thinking, wait a minute. We've been here. I think I have a work permit pending or whatever. So I don't understand. He said, oh, you have to go down to immigration office and sort it out. But they've told us you have 7 days. When I went to the immigration office, they said because your permit had not come through yet and you bought your ticket in local currency, you weren't officially able to do that. So now you have to leave the country in 7 days. And then I remember calling because I was like, well, what do we do from here? Because we had opened temples in West Africa. So what do we do now and so forth? So we had a little car. It was a Daihatsu, it's called. No, it was a Datsun. It was some small car, right? And so I called back and I called back to him. I said, well, what do we do? We have to leave the country. We can't stay here. He said, okay, take the car and drive to the next country, which was Zambia. So we took the car, and we didn't know what we were doing, how we was going to work this out. So we just got in and we started driving to the next country. You understand? So we ended up driving into Zambia anyway. I don't want to get off track here. You understand? Just the craziness. When I went to Africa on a one-way ticket with $10. So I mean, it was just, this was the whole mood of being surrendered at that time. Anyway, so in 1996 though, Gurudev, I wrote a letter to Gurudev. Gurudev says, I'm coming to America. Not like the movie, right? I'm coming to America. You understand? So I was like super ecstatic and everything. So they were asking for places to host Gurudev. So I was with Atul. Atul, I guess we'll get here soon, and we went, and they had asked Atul, could you host Gurudev? And so Atul called me because he knew myself and Sanat. We were all related to Gurudev at that time. We've been writing and all of this. So we all went and we asked to Tripurai Maharaj and the Sringa Maharaj. They were in DC at the time. And Atul said, what do you think? Because me and Sanat were saying, yeah, Atul, you should do it. So they said, well, they're here. Let me go and ask them. So we went down and asked them. And they said, he's the highest class of Vaishnava. You'd be so benefited by this seva. So then Atul agreed. So now we knew Gurudev was coming also to Washington, D.C. Understand? So, but then of course when Gurudev came in 1996, he came first to, I think, Houston. And he may have gone to Badger before too, I'm not sure. But I know he came to Houston.
Badger was off New York. First place was New York.
Was New York? Was it New York? I thought he went to Houston first. I was in New Jersey when he came. So I thought he went to Houston and came to Jersey. Because when Gurudev came to Jersey, he stayed at, do you know that devotee? Ram something? I can't remember his name, but he came to a house there in New Jersey.
Yes, that's what we got initiated. I forgot the name of it.
Of that devotee, yeah.
Yes.
So me and Mohini,
You were there.
we drove up to see Srila Gurudev at that house in New Jersey. And that's on a video now. They have a video on YouTube of that first meeting in 1996 with Gurudev there. And we're all sitting there, and Padmanabh Maharaj was Urukram at the time. He was going around introducing everybody and so forth. And of course, Shamarani was introducing. Also, Didi, who lives here. I'm drawing blanks now. No. No. Mukara.
Oh.
She was there.
No, 96?
No, listen. I think she had gone there. I showed her on the video.
Yeah.
She was just visiting there. She didn't know anything about Gurudev.
Wow.
She just came out of happenstance.
Oh my God.
And they introduced her and everything. Yeah, they told her there's a sadhu visiting. And I think they told her not to come or something, but she came. And so forth. So she's in that video. Yeah, and so many devotees are there. And I remember me and Mohini went up and we saw Gurudev and Darshan. I asked Gurudev if he remembered from a meeting in 86. And Gurudev says, something. And then, of course, Gurudev's first class that he gave, he said, after meeting everybody, he said, what time is it? So then, I don't know what time it was, but we all thought that is a trick question because then Gurudev said, what is Krishna doing now? So then, we thought, well, nobody wants to say anything. Right? Then Gurudev started describing the Ashtaka Lila. This was the first katha that we heard from Gurudev. So then my wife, she had a dental practice, so we had to drive back. So we drove back, and when we got into our house, Sanatan Prabhu had just pulled up. He had a van, an older van, and he had just pulled up as I was, getting out to go in the house and everything. I said, Gurudev is here in New Jersey. So he said, do you want to go? So I said, we just came back from there. He said, you want to go back? So my wife went in the house, we jumped in the van, and we drove back up to Jersey. Was it the same night? Was that the same day? Yeah. On the same day, we drove back up, and we just hung out there. And then when Gurudev saw us the next morning, he said, oh, you're still here? And so forth. So anyway, I just wanted to give some idea. But the other point is that after the Samadhi of our Srila Prabhupada in 1977, he told Srila Gurudev to do two things. One, to help his disciples. The other is to put him in Samadhi with his own hands. Gurudev fulfilled both of those things. The first thing, which was to help his disciples, was really, really important. Because what Srila Prabhupada had established, Srila Prabhupada knew that all the secrets of the Savatra Prachar of the name was in his books. He wanted that somebody would take, like Rupa Goswami, take the treasures out of those books and in this way help his disciples. You understand? Yeah. This is the significance of Savatra Prachar. To take those jewels out. Because that time, how many people knew what was what? Most of the time you read something, and if it's bypass it, just keep it moving. You understand? If you didn't understand it. Who understood what is Sambandha Gyan? You understand? Nobody. And how you practice bhajan with no Sambandha Gyan? So Gurudev then in 1996 he comes to fulfill, and it's the same year that Pujapat Srila Gaura Govind Maharaj, who was the natural sort of self-effulgent acharya in our movement at that time. Rather recognized or not, it was the natural self-effulgent. But upon his samadhi, Gurudev then comes. You understand? Then Gurudev starts to take out the minds, his first conversations on the Ashtaka Lila. You understand?
Do you know if that was ever recorded by anybody when Gurudev had those conversations with Prabhupada?
Yes, it's recorded. It's recorded. It was in Bengali. That's recorded, and there's been translations of it.
It was translated?
Yes.
Did
Even
they,
in
did
it's
they
kind of
properly
in
translate it?
Yeah, I would say.
Was it-
yeah, Madha Maharaj translated, and also Bhakti Charu Maharaj translated. So it wasn't just Bhakti Charu translated, huh?
Was it accurate?
I don't speak Bengali, so I have no idea, but I would have full faith that it's it's accurate, right? Because you have so many people, Bengali speaking people, so obviously
I
not
just
gonna.
kind of didn't want everyone to know that.
No, it was at that time. Also, you have to remember at that time, Gurudev's association with our society was everybody in Vrindavan used to go see Srila Gurudev. Dinabandhu used to go to find out new places to take people on parikram. Like I told you, I got off the train. They said that we should go see
They were
Gurudev.
still friendly.
It was a natural thing that devotees used to go there. There was no issue.
So it wasn't really until he came to
That
the
was-
West that...
No, in 1993, but I don't want to go off into that topic. It's a different thing, right? But Gurudev then, he mined the jewels that were in Srila Prabhupada's books, and in this way, he brought out all of those things and genuinely not only helped disciples, but saved the core of what it is that Srila Prabhupada had given. If that had not happened, just like if Rupa Goswami had not appeared, who would know what is this Ross, what is that Ross? Who would have known what is Prem in this way, that way, if he had not come? In the same way, if Gurudev had not come, and Atul had not hosted in D.C. You understand? Who would have known all of these things? And therefore, who would have saved the prophecy of Mahaprabhu that Savatra Prachar would spread all over the world? Because then Gurudev traveled, how many times was it? 30? 26 times around the world. So it wasn't that he simply came one place and gave a lecture on it, but he did what Al Srila Prabhupada did. In the Anugatya of Al Srila Prabhupada, he traveled around the world and brought those jewels out. That's why we're sitting here today and we can talk, what is Palya Dasi Bhav? What is this thing? What is that thing? Then Gurudev himself made so many jewels. His sannyasi gun, praying Prabhu, so many devotees. He made his own jewels that would still reflect what it is he did in the fulfillment of Mahaprabhu's prophecy. There are many times when I was traveling for Harikatha, and devotees here who travel, be somebody who will testify. Sometimes we would break down before we started doing the Harikatha. And in part that was because we would all think back, we were boys playing basketball in Brooklyn. You understand? And now we're talking about Palya Dasi Bhav. You understand? This is the Savatra Prachar effect that Gurudev gave in the fulfillment of Mahaprabhu's prophecy. Jai Srila Gurudeva Ki Jai. So we have so many. Oh, one last thing. I'll speak about Saptapanchik. But for devotees on the Zoom, I think we'll end here because we have many devotees here now, and devotees want to do their Puspanjali, and it will be difficult because you won't hear them all and everything else. But I wanted devotees to get some understanding of the glories of my Guru Parapadma. So I'm very happy that you've all came on. There's a lot of you on too. Right? So Parvati, I think we'll end here. Is there any quick question from the Zoom? If not, maybe we'll wait till another time because there are so many devotees here and I don't want to hold it up. So maybe we'll do it another time unless there's a really pressing question. All right, Parvati, any announcement or anything right quick before we end?
No.
Okay, so let's end the Zoom here and we will speak to everybody else. And any of the disciples, anything, you can always call me and ask. And then, Janab, I'll call you later on. All right? All right, my Dandavad Pranam to all the devotees on the Zoom.
Can we just see, maybe by show of hands, who wants to speak, and then we could allot time to each person? 'Cause if you want to speak, can you raise your hand so we can see how many people want to?
Yeah, I think, the devotees may be a little shy, but once people start getting going, they'll want to go. So the last thing is just a quick explanation of the Saptapanchik. Param Gurudev had established that on the Divyas Puja of Guru, that the Saptapanchik would be worshipped. So the Saptapanchik is 7 different categories of 5 things. So Guru Panchak is Shri Guru, Param Guru, Parameshti Guru, Parakpara Guru, and Parampara Guru. The reason for this is because the chain of our Guru Pranali, it's called, or our Guru Parampara, is the means by which obviously we have connection to our goal. So that Guru Panchak is first established. The Acharya Panchak, which is Ramanuja, Madhava, Vishnu Swami, and Nimbaditya Acharya. Why? Because no bona fide Vaishnava teaching can come unless it comes in one of these 4 lines in the Kali Yuga. Right? So this is mentioned in Sastra. But the fifth is Shukdev Goswami. Why? What is the summation of all of the different Vaishnava philosophies? Srimad Bhagavatam. And what is the pinnacle of that philosophy? Achintya Veda Veda Tattva. So Mahaprabhu took 2 things from each of those sampradayas, and the Achintya Aveda Veda Tattva is our line. Who would understand that better than Shukadev Goswami? So he's the 5th in that Panchak because if you think about it, why didn't Vyasadev speak Srimad Bhagavatam? His own Shiksha Guru Nad Muni was also present. Why he didn't speak? In the what is it? Bhavasara Sangraha. Anybody seen this book, Bhavasara Sangraha? It's a compilation of Govinda Lila Amrita Krishna Bhavana Amrita Krishna Ika Komodi, so many, but some by Siddha Krishna Das Tattva. One devotee put together compilation, very old, great saint, put together compilation. And there it mentions in there, discussing the Santa Lila, Vichakshan Bhagavat Artha Kovido. So I remember I was looking for Praman, for proof, because some devotees doubted Gurudev's statement that Shukadev Goswami, who spoke Srimad Bhagavatam, was the parrot of Radhika. At one point that became a whole controversy. So in Ananda Vrindavan Champu, there's evidence. In the commentary of Brihad Vaishnav Toshaniv Sanatana Goswami, there's evidence. Many places. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in the Falstuti verse, he quotes evidence that Shukadev Goswami is the parrot. So many places. But I wrote to Sri Achutalal Bhattji, and he kindly made a half-hour video giving me all kinds of Praman. He was sick at the time too. But Brajanath asked him, and he gave a whole bunch of Pramans. But also there's Praman in that Bhavasara Sangraha, Vichaksan Bhagavat Artha Kovido. This parrot Vichakshan, he is the same parrot who Bhagavat Artha Kovido is the scholar who spoke Srimad Bhagavatam. You understand? So because Shukadev Goswami understood most intimately the moods of Radha and Krishna, he was most suitable to speak, even over Vyas and Nard. Understand? So he's the fifth in that Panchak. Then the Vyas Panchak means obviously Ved Vyas Ji and his disciples Palya, Vaishampayana, Jaimini Rishi, and Sumanta Rishi. Because we are still based in Vedic philosophy. And the Vedas, they're composed of 4 different sections. Anybody know the 4 sections of Veda? Samhitas, Aranyakas, Upanishads, and Vedanta Sutra. These are the 4 sections of Vedanta, of Veda. You understand? So these 4, even though they were given different sections, like the Puranas, somebody was given the one Veda, another Veda, another. Atharva Veda is a compilation of all the Vedas. Rik, Sam, and Yajur are the functional parts of the Veda. Atharva Veda is like the summary of them all. The Sanakari Panchak means the 4 Kumaras and Vikshrakshain. Vikshrakshain means that person who also removes any obstacles. And the 4 Kumaras represent the principles of Gyan, Vairagya, Tapasya, and Yoga. But in their perfectional stage. Because if you follow the 4 Kumaras, they go through the progressive stages up to the point where they write Sanat Kumar Samhita. You understand? So you follow their trajectory from Brahmavadis all the way to Sanat Kumar Samhita. So it shows that Yoga, Gyan, Vairagya.
What is the Sanat?
Sanat Kumar Samhita? It is the basis under which they teach Rag Marg. So it's written by Sanat Kumar. It's called Sanat Kumar Samhita. And there they're teaching to Nard the whole Rag Marg.
It's spoken though, not written, right?
They have books, Sanat Kumar Samhita was spoken. Yeah. So that whole trajectory of the 4 Kumars from Brahmavadis to that stage, right? So then Yoga, Gyan, Vairagya, and Tapasya perfected in that thing. And Vishwakshay means who removes obstacles in this understanding is the 5th in that Panchak. Krishna Panchak means Sri Krishna, then the Chaturvyuha. That's self-explanatory. 2 things which are very important for us. One is the Upasya Panchak. Shri Radhika, Shri Krishna, Gaur Gadadhar, and Srila Gurudev. Why Gaur Gadadhar?
You have to go through them first, or they have to.
Listen. Gaur Gadadhar as opposed to Nitai Gaur.
That's Bhajra.
Huh?
Because in Bhajra we have to take shelter of.
The Upasya, what is our Upasan? What is our ultimate Upasan? Upasan means our mode of worship.
We have to get.
Does any and everybody here, I don't know who has Diksha, who doesn't, but do we chant the Gayatri mantra?
Yes.
Do we chant Kam Gayatri?
Yes.
What is the meaning of Kam Gayatri? It's given in the Ramananda Samvad. I'm giving the first hint, Vrindavane. Vrindavane Aprakrita Navina Madan Kam Bij, Kam Gayatri, Yanra Upasan. The meaning of your Kam Gayatri is the Upasan of Vrindavane Aprakrita Navina Madan. Vrindavane means Braj Krishna. Aprakrit means that transcendental form of Cupid, because he's not mundane Cupid. Navi means who's worshipped via anurag. Sanubhuta anu kuryam. Nava nava priya is the definition of anurag. So that one who's worshipped by the mode of anurag of gopis is called Vrindavane Apakrita Navina Madan. Your Kam Gayatri is for the upasan of that Radha Krishna worship. So Gaur Gadadhar in Gaur Leela, Gaur Gadadhar are the principle of that kind of upasan. But you can't approach that without the Pancha Tattva. So the last of the Sapta Pancha is Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. So in the verse, Tattva Panchakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhakta Avataram Bhaktakyam Namama Bhakta Shakti Kam, the meaning of the Pancha Tattva is given. The Bhakta Rup means the personification of Asraya and Vishaya Jatya in one form as the pinnacle of prem, right? You'll find this in Adi Lila, Shri Radha Pranaya Vikriti Ladini Shakti Asmat. I'm trying to speed up because so many devotees, we don't want to use so much time, right? So the transformation of the Ladini Vritti has caused the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, meaning also the inversion, which Ramananda Roy spoke last to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. After he spoke everything, he said, there is one more subject I could speak if you care to hear it. What was that last thing he wanted to speak? He already spoke Radharani Tattva, Krishna Tattva. Prem Vilas Vivart. Word Vivat means inversion. What was the inversion? When prem becomes so high that the roles are reversed between the Ashraya Jati and Vishaya Jati, this is the manifestation of the root, Bhakti root, in its pinnacle, the Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You will never realize that without Guru Tattva. In Gaur Leela, Guru Tattva is whom? Therefore, he is called the Swarup in the Pancha Tattva. Because to understand the Swarup of this form of Mahaprabhu as the pinnacle of praying, you have to go to Guru Tattva to understand it. So he's called the Swarup in the Pancha Tattva. Is Nityananda. If that doesn't descend to the plane of the Jiva, will you ever get it? No. So Advaita Acharya is called? Who called to bring the whole thing down into the purview of the Jivas. If Bhakti Shakti is not given to the Jiva, even when it comes into the purview of the Jiva by its descent, will you understand it? It requires Bhakti Shakti. Where does that come from? Originally. Who appears in Gaur Leela as? Yes. But will you directly get it? Or how will you get it? Paramasvatantra Bhagavad Bhakta. By the Paramasvatantra Bhagavad Bhakta in the Pancha Tattva is represented by? Therefore, Chaitanya Charita is mentioned. Shri Bhakti Rasa Hridaya Tvam Ataha Srivas Uchite. Your name is Srivas because Shri Radhika has taken up residence in your heart. Shri Bhakti Rasa Hridayatam Ataha Srivas Uchite. Therefore, he is Adi Gaur Bhaktavinda, the leader of all those Paramasvatantra Bhagavad Bhaktas who can reveal the Pancha Tattva by the Pancha Tattva Gaurangas. What is it? Gaurangera Rasanave, Seitaranga Jave Dube, Shri Radha Madhav Antaranga. You'll come up in the Antaranga of Shri Radha Madhav. Jai Shri Gurudeva ki Jai, Shri Gurudev Zavir Bhav Mahamahotsav ki Jai.
So next Sunday, the slower version.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many devotees here, you know. You have to get in the court. What do they have? Those people who like Yeah, yeah. Because I remember when I used to go to court, when I used to see the people there, those ladies, they're going, and I used to think, you know, how do we know that they're actually typing out the actual thing? People's life is on the line, and they're just like, you know, and then sometimes they look over and they're going like this, you know, hit the wrong key.
It's not a real keyboard. It's like
No, they're very.
I don't know what it is.
They're very, very good at what they get
Yeah.
paid very well.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. You understand?
Now we have AI.
Oh, so now probably you just have to say it and it's probably automatically. All right. So now we'll try to, whoever wants to offer some Pushpanjali to Gurudev, will allow. I have to also leave at 12:15 at the latest. So, but it doesn't stop anything here. But devotees, whoever wants to offer Pushpanjali.
Do you want me to distribute them?
Yeah.
Ishan, go get it to
Ishan.
Papa and distribute it to all the devotees.
Namo Om Vishnu Paraya Radhikaya Priyatmane Sri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Namine Prema Bhakti Rasanandam Kripa Sindhu Mavananam Pragyapayandam Vande Sri Bhakti
Do we move this over
So
there?
everybody can get it. Group many people?
So, I know there is little time for everyone to speak. I will just say a few words. We were talking
It was already facing
that.
Ashtakam.
Oh, it's okay.
We could sing this together also.
Can you share?
So, today is the very auspicious Avirbhav Titi appearance day of my Gurudev Nidila Pravishta Sri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj. And he appeared on this day. Ishan, come this side also, give.
First give the
And here.
Ishan.
So he appeared in Tiwaripur in Bihar province in India. And he appeared on this day, which is called Mauni Amavasya.
Ishan.
What is the special quality of Mauni Amavasya? So we all know the story of Shankarji and Sati. But what is the relationship between Shankarji and Parvati? Shankarji and Parvati, Sati, they are all Shakti. They are Bhagavan's external Shakti. But what is their relationship? What do they do? What is their relationship? What do they do? What is Shankarji and Parvati doing all day sitting in Kailash?
Meditation. Well, I mean, at least Shiva, right?
They are doing, yes, Shankarji is always meditating on the lotus feet, but they are doing Harikatha. Shankarji is the Vakta of so much Harikatha. When we have heard this story of Shri Ashuka, parrot of Srimati Radhika. When the parrot of Srimati Radhika flew out looking for something sweet, hearing the name Radhe, Radhe, hearing the name Krishna, Krishna, and looking also for Harikatha. Where did this parrot go? In Kailas. There was one tree, and went there and was listening to the very sweet Harikatha that Shankarji was giving, only for the ears of Parvati. So he was speaking Srimad Bhagavatam. We have heard Srimad Bhagavatam, and we consider, oh, it is so much, 18,000 verses, but there is more of Srimad Bhagavatam that we have not heard. And so Shankarji was speaking so much, but Gurudev has said Parvati was becoming a little inattentive during some of the very philosophical parts. And so when she would fall asleep, the parrot would say, go on, okay, okay, and make some sound in the voice of Parvati. So the point is, Shankarji is always speaking Harikatha to Parvati. But when there was the Daksha Yajna, and Sati went there, and she burst into flames. She asked the fire element to come within her, but Agni refused. She had to, by her own Shakti, make herself go in flames. To give up that body, she considered it is shameful that I have received this body from Prajapati Daksha, who is a blasphemer of such the supreme Vaishnav, Vaishnavanam Yata Shambhu. In Srimad Bhagavatam it is said, Nimnaganam Yata Ganga Purananam Idam Tata Vaishnavanam Yata Shambhu Devanam Achyuto Yata. This Srimad Bhagavatam is supreme amongst all Puranas, just as Achyuta Vishnu is supreme amongst Devatas, Ganga is supreme amongst all rivers, and Shankarji is supreme amongst the Vaishnavas. So when this happened, Shankarji became so distraught. He became so distraught, he went into Maunavrat. He would not speak anything. He would not see anyone. He was remaining in meditation. This Ganga, this dhara of Harikatha flowing from Shankarji was stopped. Then finally, after a very long time, Parvati was born as the daughter of Himalaya. And she finally came and she worshipped Shankarji. And on that day, when he again began to speak Harikatha to Parvati, that day is Mauni Amavasya.
Oh, wow.
So this is a very special day. And Amavasya is generally considered an inauspicious day, but there are two Amavasyas, or three. One is Deepavali, one is Mauni Amavasya, and I think there is a third one also. It is a very auspicious day, spiritually auspicious. And it is a day which is auspicious because of the giving of Harikatha. So our Gurudev, he did something which was very unprecedented. You know, Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, he gave so many books. He gave so many lectures. He did so many kirtans. He explained, there are many Krishnas, but we are especially interested in that Krishna who is the son of Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda. He gave Harikatha, but there was no appreciation for his Harikatha. Everyone thought, oh, this is philosophy. We are learning philosophy. And now we can repeat the philosophy because we will repeat the words. No understanding and no appreciation. None of us. And now, of course, I'm including myself in that. We did not appreciate what it meant to hear from the lips of the Mahabhagavat, associate of Radha and Krishna, who has come to this world to help us. He tried. He arranged. There will be a Mayapur Vrindavan festival. Everyone should come and hear. Who? Oh, from him. In 1977, he wanted everyone to come. Oh, services will suffer. Book distribution will suffer. That's okay. Everyone should come to hear from him, to have his darshan. Guru Mukha Padma Bhakya Chitete Koriya Aikya. So this desire, and also he had a final desire to go to Govardhan. These desires were not fulfilled because his disciples were frankly unqualified.
Got it right on.
So, Gurudev came. He took these ashas, he took the desires of Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj. He brought all of this, and he came and he gave us very sweet Harikatha. And he told us, these books of Srila Prabhupada, these are treasure chests full of transcendental gems, but they are under lock and key. And he unlocked them and began to distribute the jewels of very beautiful Tattva Siddhant and Rasa Siddhant to our very foolish and unqualified ears. And he lifted us up. And he fulfilled the desire of our acharyas and Srila Rupa Goswami. So I just wanted to say that. So this is in the meter and tune of Sri Damodarashtakam.
Announcement, I'm sorry.
Okay.
A drink was on the list.
Yes, there is a drink. No, in the
Yes.
fridge.
It's in the fridge.
Black fridge over here.
Is it what you brought?
Yeah, what you got?
Yeah,
It's just two things.
Oh,
you can mix it with
it's fine.
fruit.
Okay.
At least there's an option.
It could become one.
All right. Prabhakti tatvanu deshantam hi bhakti pragyana senanirna shantam tamo moha shokapasiddhanta hantam namo bhakti vedanta narayanam tam Raje Mandale Krishna Nilam Vajantam Purat Purna Tattvam Sakyam Charantam Nikunja Dyanantorminavam Tarantam Namo Bhakti Vedanta Narayanam Tam Navadvipa Mahatmya Nilantarangam Tryajanuvakyam Pramananubodham Swarupasya Gauranga Lilaramantam Namo Bhakti Vedanta Narayanam Tam Pranashtasya Bhumandalasya Pramatta Vikarma Prabhavaya Deshaya Gantam Atat Swamina Dishta Bhakti Pradantam Namo Bhakti Vedanta Narayanam Tam Sucharvindra Nile Sunetre Suvarna Jyotirvachya Madhurya Taschitta Chaura Katadharaya Sinchayantam Padantam Namo Bhakti Vedanta Narayanam Tam Matam Stapayitva Virupadrajauta Brade Vrindaya Pujaya Sakramarcham Igoriya Siddhanta Vistaranam Yam Namo Bhakti Vedanta Narayanam Tam Vedantam Charupanu Shikshan Pranamam Cha Jivasya Malamudaram Niropyanubandha Niratnani Dantam Namo Bhakti Vedanta Narayanam Tam Guru Komalatvam Cha Vairagya Saram Guru Ragaya Vasanam Deshanam Yam Pradepyantarangam Vahisemamanam Namo Bhakti Vedanta Narayanam Tam
Namo Bhakti
Vedanta Narayanam Tam
Namo Bhakti
Vedanta Narayanam Tam
What
Gurudev Ki Jai.
about those two verses on top?
Huh?
What about some
The
of the
verse on the top. Those two.
Oh, that is just a pranam, additional pranam. Prema bhakti rasanandam kripasandhu mahananam prajapayam bhakti vedanta narayanam. Yeah, and the translation.
just to gather it for
Very nice.
from everyone.
We could keep these here because
Oh, we can keep them?
who's next?
And actually, I don't need the microphone, so maybe we can keep one on either side.
Okay.
Just speak.
One over here.
Agyantyamantasya Gunanjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurudev. So since I've been sharing so many stories online, I think many of you have been following these daily tales. So I thought I would tell the story of how I first came to Gurudev. When I first came to Gurudev, I was actually in Vrindavan. I had been writing to Gurudev for some time. And I was in Vrindavan looking for a guru. And Gurudev had gone away traveling. And I had come there and I was not going to see him, it seemed. So I was meeting with many different Vaishnava gurus in Vrindavan, looking for a guru, asking all the right questions, but not being satisfied by the answers. So I went to Srila Prabhupada's Samadhi, and I shed a few tears at Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet, and I said, Srila Prabhupada, I have prayed to you every day for 7 years to not cheat me, to bring me a guru like you. And now it's my last day in Braj, I'm leaving and I have no shelter. I have no hope of advancement without Sri Guru. What am I going to do now? I've got to go back to England and live my boring life. So, all of a sudden, I hear my name being called. Anita! English accent. Sri Ram Sakar standing there. Anita, come! Gurudev just arrived. I was literally leaving Vrindavan. So I got in the rickshaw with the group of people that were with me, a few hippie friends that I met along the way, and we all got in this big rickshaw and went to Mathura. As I came to Keshavji Gaudiya Math, and as I crossed the threshold into his temple, I was hit with a vibration, a frequency, an energy that I had never palpated in my life. A sweetness that hit my energetic field, that affected me so profoundly. I knew, oh wow, something special's here, someone special's here. So I walked up the stairs to the first floor, which I call the first floor. And Gurudev was standing there as if waiting for me. And he points to me, and I'm in the midst of my friends, and he points to me directly and says, "Who are you and where have you come from?" So I sauntered over to Gurudev, trembling like I'm trembling now, and I paid my obeisances. I said, "Oh, I'm Anita. I wrote you some letters from England." "Yes! Where have you been? I've been waiting for you for so long," he says. Well, I paid my obeisances. He said, "I want you to stay with me." Immediately started making plans for me to have a room. He gave, I came there with one boy, Narad, who was my very close friend at the time. And Gurudev thought we were a couple, so he arranged for us to be given a room upstairs on the top floor.
Wow.
So we went and we stayed. We were traveling all over India together, so it wasn't abnormal to be in the same room with him. We were like brother and sister. So then in the middle of the night, I suddenly realized, oh my God, Gurudev probably thinks we're together. And everyone here thinks we're together.
Of course.
Like, this is not okay. So in the morning, first thing, very early in the morning, I went and I told, who is now Madhav Maharaj, and they immediately, oh, big panic. And then they kicked Narad out of the temple and they gave me a room downstairs. And it was a big deal that Gurudev was letting a single lady stay in this mutt full of brahmacharis and sannyasis. Other than Didi, who was also there. So everyone,
And Tungi?
no, Tungi was living in Vrindavan. But Tungi moved in my room really quick. Within 3 days, I tell you.
I just want to explain why it was a big deal at that time, although I don't remember it being that big of a deal. But something happened.
And we can hear you.
Yeah, so I lived in Keshavji Gaudiya Math from 93 to 95, 96. She came at the end of 95, December. So what had happened was, just prior to that, just prior to her coming, a romance had developed between a Mat Basi and a young lady. And so there was still some type of hungama around that. So when she came, it was like some residue from that maybe. So that's what you were.
Yes.
That's what you were.
Tungi, why don't you share some?
Yes, Tungi.
Yeah.
Now you got the mic.
Sure.
Go on.
And
Go
don't
for it.
don't drop it yet.
when you
So
drop
you
that
just saw, I just got to the part where you moved in my room. There you go.
Yeah.
Within
Okay,
3 days,
I'll
when you moved in my room.
I'll just describe those rooms, okay? The very bottom floor of Keshavji Gaudiya Math was like a dark dungeon basement, but it wasn't underground, but it might as well have been.
Mike didn't want.
And there were no windows, and I
The mic's
remember
not on.
one of the rooms that I stayed in also prior or maybe after down there, literally black bugs were coming out of the walls, out. Like, anyway, it was like a really intense space. But luckily, like, I only had to stay down there like for a very short time. When I first came to the Mott, I was staying upstairs on Gurudev's floor, like right. No, actually above. I was staying above Gurudev's room because his room was like on the main floor.
Yeah.
And then later, when his room moved, when they built another layer, then I stayed upstairs, and he was like across, like directly across from me.
Wow.
So I'll just tell you one quick story here because there's so many. So one night, I can't remember the year, but when I was staying across, when this extra floor was built, and Gurudev's room moved upstairs, and my room was across from that. It was like at about 10:30, 11:30 at night, like not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. And there were a lot of mice there. Anyway, so it was dead of night, and Gurudev, it was warm weather time, so Gurudev was out on the roof, on a charpoy underneath a mosquito net, right? Because the room was too difficult to, there was no AC in Gurudev's room at that time. So then, I hear some rustling, and I get up out of the bed on the floor, and I look out my window, and Gurudev is getting out of his mosquito net. And Gurudev is getting out of his mosquito net at this like quiet, late, everybody's sleeping at the Mott hour. And then, so I went outside my room, and Umidity also came out, and I was like, where's Gurudev going? So here's where he was going. We had 4 Guru Bens who lived in Holy Gate, inside this Holy Gate, the gated community of Mathura. With no actual gate, okay. Inside Holy Gate, down these labyrinth gullies, we had 4 Guru Bens. We called them the Chato Kumaris, right? So these 4 girls were they were at the Mott every single day, morning and night, at Gurudev's feet, joking, laughing with him. So then Umidity said, he's going to the house of those girls to thwart an arranged marriage. Now, in that demographic of India at that time, and probably still now, these arranged marriages are forced marriages, like you don't have a say. They put it off these 4 girls put it off as long as they could, for years and years and years, and finally one of them broke. So he went to negotiate with the family so that she wouldn't be forced to marry. And so it worked, like that time around for the one that was the issue at that time, but remember there's 4. So Gurudev went late at night to, quarrel with her family. Okay. Like he quarrels with Dwarkadish and Jagannath. Okay. So then the next day when we were having darshan with Gurudev turned to me and said, you are so fortunate that you were born in a country where nobody will force you to marry. So, and I thought about that because the whole time I was living in Mathura, I was like, oh, I want to live in India. Oh, I want to be like Kansa, that's Kavatan. And so that was my whole lament the whole time. Like, Gurudev would ask me, what do you want? I want to be like that. What do you want? I want to live in Mathura, like this whole thing. But like, although, it's great to be born in India, if you have the Sangha of Rasik Vaishnavas, who's going to fight on your behalf like that? Otherwise, attitude of gratitude for where you are. That's just my message.
I do have one request. That yourself and Tungi should team up and do like a video of those days there, because that's very, very special from this angle of vision. There are times there. Because then we met you when you came back the first time in Baltimore. And actually, she was very inspirational because when we saw her leave and then she came back, we were like, wow.
So I had been given this room downstairs. Actually, there was one window. There was only one window, and then just the doors going out to the front where everybody will see you. So I had to keep the doors closed. But it's, it's 100+ degrees, and there's no window, except the window to the street sweeper's toilet. This is where the people who clean up the roads of Mathura go to the bathroom. It was the only window, was in their bathroom. So I had to open up this window, and it was the only way to have any air at all in this room, or open up the front doors where everyone can see me lying in my bed, which I couldn't do. So anyway, actually I'll tell you a funny story. I just told my husband this story the other day. He didn't even know this story. So I had this, when I was staying in the mud, you get so inspired. The mood of service is so intense. You just want to just serve all day and night. I considered sleep to be a most horrible, awful thing. Why fall asleep? I don't want to fall asleep. Gurudev's upstairs. I just wanted to be in it all the time. So one morning, I decided I'm going to go clean this disgusting toilet so that I can open my window. And I'm going to serve all the nice Mathura Basis who are doing all this service here. And it'll be so good for my spiritual life. I went and I got buckets and sponges and everything, bleach, everything, vinegar. And I walk with a flashlight, and then I get to the door, and there's no door. And I cross into it and my foot goes down. And it's like to my knee, sludge of you know what. So I'm going, I had one leg in and one leg out. And I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'll smell the stool rather than clean this up. So I took my leg out immediately, cleaned myself, of course. But anyway, I wanted to tell a really sweet story. One of the street sweepers there, young girl, she would come into the mud, and I would sometimes have my door open. Sometimes I needed some air. And this young girl, she was curious about me because I was a girl in the mud, and I'm from the West, and I'm downstairs. So she would come in, and we couldn't understand each other. We're just like, oh, honey, giving each other glances and smiles and shoulder rubs and just being affectionate. But after maybe a week of this, I was giving her little gifts. Every time she'd come, I'd give her a little gift. Some eye kajal, something, a pen, something like this, a book. So then after about a week, I said, I've got to bring this girl upstairs. She needs to come see Gurudev, come meet Gurudev and see the deities. So I took her upstairs, and she's terrified. She's like, no. And I'm like, yes. You must come. You must trust me. So anyway, I kind of reluctantly dragged her up the stairs, and she really didn't want to come in. She was really afraid. I didn't understand. She was a street sweeper. She's unclean. Now, I didn't think of her that way. I didn't see that. I saw this sweet, bright, beautiful face. So anyway, I bring her into the temple room, and I'm showing her the deities. I'm saying, Radha and Krishna and Gurudev. And now we're going to walk around the back and do parikrama around the temple room. And then I hear screaming. Brahmacharis come running out, screaming. They grab her. They're dragging her out of the temple room. She's dirty. She can't be here. Didi, what have you done? Oh, then Gurudev comes out of his room. And he sees me there with this girl, and I'm trembling. I'm so afraid I've made some offense. What have I done? But I'm also really confused and really angry. Like, hello, aren't we supposed to be merciful?
I'm here.
I didn't understand that there was like a caste system that they really adhered to there, that was very deeply ingrained in the culture of the Indian men, their minds. Gurudev came. Let go of her. Who are you? Come here. She comes, she's so timid, little girl, she's young, like maybe 11, 12, young. So she comes up before Gurudev and she's so polite, and he's asking her questions in Hindi, and he's looking at me out of the corner of my eye like I'm some mischievous, naughty girl, you know, what have you done? And all these people are shouting, no, she shouldn't be here, she shouldn't be here. And Gurudev says, I will make her my disciple.
Whoa.
He took her into his room, he gave her Harinam, gave her a new name. Her old name was Lakshmi. I'm sorry, I can't remember her initiated name. She came out a disciple. Now no one can tell her she cannot come. You can come here anytime and take darshan. This is the mercy of Gurudev. And I saw this everywhere I went. These types of miracles, everywhere I went with Gurudev, I saw this happen. Incredible vision, an incredible ability to show love and affection to anyone. Very Christ-like, which is why I really loved Gurudev so much, because he was so Christ-like, you know? He's so much more than Jesus Christ, but he was Christ-like in how he had this ability that everyone was so drawn to him, and he could just meet anyone on any level and give this compassion regardless. So thank you so much for letting me share.
Bless Sanatan Babu speak, and then Beam. I'm gonna have to leave after, and probably by 12, because I just gotta, and Sanat's gonna ride with me.
So we can make places.
Huh?
To make places.
He needs cooking, he's at home, that's why.
Who else is on the list? I would like to make an update.
You can make an offer.
But when? For this afternoon?
No. Sanat.
No, not him. Isn't he about to?
Yeah, he's gonna leave with me.
And who's after him?
But I'll be able to put somebody from the rain and talk. So, this is a very special day. For me, there's so many stories that had already been told. So I would just share just a short version of my own association with Shri Gurudev. Actually, to be blunt and truthful, it all started with Tangi deed, because when I was in Washington, D.C., I many devotees who know me before coming here, I was very self-employed, so I had a business. I was always involved in some type of business. So at that time, I had a flower business, and I would see Tony sometime in the temple, and she would always talk about she wants to go and meet a bona fide representative of this bhakti yoga process. So I always try to give her, some recommendations, what have you, but she said, no, I want to go and see this Srila Narayan Maharaj. And I asked her, who is he? I never heard of him before. So she kept talking about it, so she was so enthusiastic. That's what grabbed my attention, was the enthusiasm that she had. So anyway, she was going around and wanted to know if anyone could help with helping to raise funds to get her ticket. So I said, yeah, I'm good at doing that, but I tell you how you have to do it. You have to, I would employ you to sell some flowers on a special day, and then I would give you the funds to go to India. So she did. She went to India, and she started sending me so many tapes and Srila Gurudev and what have you. And when I seen her again, she was always very enthusiastic. She was like a light bulb, it was incredible. So next, I would also like to say that it was by the mercy of Atul Prabhu. One day we were at New York and we were going to the Rath Yatra. So back during those days, if any one of you know back then, it was so much controversial issues about Srila Gurudev. So the Atul was going out and passing out these pamphlets and what have you, and also he was giving out leaflets to come and take shelter or hear from Srila Gurudev. So he had given it to me, and I looked at it. I said, okay, I heard a lot about Srila Narayan Maharaj. So there must be something to this, because it keeps popping up everywhere I go. So later on, Mukunda, which he already told you the story, went to New Jersey, and he had told me I had just pulled in coming from a program in New Vrindavan, and he had called me and said, look, I just came back from New Jersey, and Srila Narayan Maharaj I just seen him. I said, wow, that's very good. He said, yeah, he's in New Jersey right now. You want to go? I said, are you kidding me, right? I just pulled up in here. He says, no, but we can go. I said, okay. But it was, so we had to, I just dropped everything. Run to go pick him up. And we drove to New Jersey. We got caught up in traffic and everything. By the time we got to New Jersey, it was 12 o'clock. Yeah. And when we saw Srila Gurudev was in the room. And so, as we walked into Prabhu's house, we saw Brajanath. We saw so many other devotees that I have seen before. And then Brajanath says, Mukunda says, oh, I brought my friend to see Srila Gurudev. He says, oh, Gurudev is sleeping. Just wait. So Gurudev came out of the room, and he says, oh, so someone wants to see me? So he came and he saw Mukunda. He says, oh, you here? You didn't leave. He said, no, Gurudev, I brought a friend. So we went into his room where he was staying, and he spoke to us as if we were just talking right now.
Yeah, they're friends.
For an hour and a half.
Wow, nice.
And so then as we came out of the room, everyone was saying, oh, you should take shelter now. Take shelter now. So no, he gave us instructions. He told us what to do. So we're gonna follow the instructions. Oh, he's cheating you. So that's when I came in contact with, later on, that summer, and I came in contact with Atul Prabhu, and we went to the Rath Yatra. And then after that, then he invited us to come to his place. I wasn't so much wanting to, I came, but I wasn't really, like wanting to push it, so to speak. But I went up there with another friend, a devotee, and when I pulled up and I looked at Mukunda Prabhu and Shanta, who is now Shanta Maharaj, they had shaved heads, they had on the charter, and I was looking at them, I was saying, wait, what's going on here? These guys, they're not, they're already married, so there's gotta be some kind of sacrifice going on, something's happening. So I said, so Harbo, so what's going on? So they said, Shanta Maharaj, oh, Prabhu, Gurudev, he's going to give us shiksha, and diksha. Oh, Guru. He said, oh, you should go ask him, you ask him. I said, no, I said, no, that's good. I'm glad to hear to see y'all doing that. That's very good, you know. But, but Shanta Maharaj was so it's consistent on, no, you must do it. You know. He just kept pushing me. So I said, okay, all right. So I'll see what happens, you know. So we told Rajanak again, and Rajanak is very famous for saying veg. Gurudev is sleeping. He looked
Hold on a second. What happened was that we had already gone in and did Harinam and Diksha, and at that time, Maharaj was Naveen. He had already started the yajna in the yard. So when the fire was going, but Gurudev took like 2.5 hours to do the whole explanations of everything. It was like 2.5 hours. So as we were coming out, we see Sanat. He's coming in, and Shantamaraj is convincing him to go in. So then we're on our way out to the yajna. It's another 2 hours before he comes out of Gurudev's room.
Yeah, so, but before that, Srila Gurudev came out of the room and he sat down. He said, so, someone wants to speak to me? So I'm sitting down and I was, wow. I was on, like, I felt like I was on the spotlight. You know? So many people were there. And I said, well, Srila Gurudev, I would like to take shelter of you. I said, I've been, had so many friends like Kirtapada, Shamila, Tungavidya, you know, so many have mentioned so much about you, and I feel that within my heart I want to take shelter of you. So then Gurudev looked at me, he says, you want to take shelter of me? When all of these guys, so many are available. Then I looked and I said, sure, Gurudev, but I don't, it's not here. Then Gurudev said, then why are you dressed like this? You know? He said that I had, I was a bling blinger at that time. So anyway, he said, make yourself ready quickly. So I ran and got to and said, look, I gotta shave up. He says, okay, come on. He buzzed me up, buzzed me up. I got a dory, and then we went out to the fire sacrifice. And it was 100 degrees out there. I'm telling you, really, it was 100 degrees, but we didn't feel nothing. And Madhava Maharaj was doing the fire sacrifice. I mean, it was intense. So many sparks would fly everywhere, and we didn't feel anything, you know. But anyway, so then after get to the point that Mukund was talking about, then I was called, oh, Prabhu, Prabhu. So we look around, we just, smiling, no, you. He was pointing to me. Gurudev wants to see you. So I said, oh, well, what did I do this time? So this is when Gurudev actually gave me Diksha.
Yeah.
And I'm going to see, I'm not going to say more about that.
Yeah.
But afterwards, I went back out there to the fire sacrifice. And it was like, I don't know, it was incredible. This whole big fire sacrifice going on, and we just, it's hot, but we didn't feel anything. Afterwards, we come back, and I'm going to end on this. Srila Gurudev says, so everything's okay now? I said, yes, Srila Gurudev. He says, oh, good. He says, Guru never falls. I will never fall. Srila Gurudev ki jai.
Nonetheless, devotees, please forgive me. I have to leave. Unless somebody has a spare couch I could sleep on. Will definitely
We got a
be
room.
upset. Huh?
We got a room. You can
No,
stay with us.
I'm only kidding. I have to go and help with the feast. You're right.
I want to give the mic to Sita.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sita.
And where's Rama Devi want to speak also?
Boy, Manjulali, you should also speak something.
Sita.
Very nice.
Can I speak to you?
I gave it to you, Lada. I gave it to you. I don't know where it is. You tell me. What is this?
Hare Krishna, Pranam everybody. So, in 1997, early 1997, I was on a flight from London to Delhi, and the flight started going down, and they were dumping fuel, and everybody started screaming. Yeah. So there's a backstory. I had promised Krishna that I will be yours. I will stop eating stuff that I was eating, bad things, and so I said, okay, I'm gonna stop eating, I'm gonna be yours, just help me. I sat in meditation and then started praying. I used to chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, because we were from the, that Narayan, we used to worship Lakshmi Narayan. Yeah. So suddenly the plane straightened and we landed, nothing happened, and I forgot about it. This is early 1997. Late 1997, I met Gurudev's disciple on another flight from Heathrow to Delhi, and he told me all about Gurudev. And then, things happened. I said, okay, I have to visit Mathura and I have to visit what this is all about. Still, I was a little like, I didn't know what was happening. I used to work in the movie industry, in the Bollywood. I was a makeup artist. I had colored hair and highlights. So I go to Mathura with a friend of mine who was wearing, salwar kameez, nice devotee, and I'm in jeans, fancy kurta, colored hair, cap. And we go to, we were actually not even trying to get to the mutt because I didn't know the name of the mutt, but the auto rickshaw just dropped us there. So we went, we didn't know. Everybody started latching on to my friend, and no one looked at me. Because here I am, Indian woman with, all very fashionable and colored hair and jeans and whatnot. I was thinner then too. So, yeah. In case you need to buy them, yeah. You all 50 pounds ago. This is 50 pounds ago. Anyway, so they didn't even let me get darshan of Gurudev. Like I only saw him in Harikatha. Only my friend was given darshan. And then there's Ramchandra Prabhu, I don't know if you know Ramchandra Prabhu, Raglekha Didi, Savita Didi, they all latched on to her. She said, let's get out of here, these people are crazy. And they kept on telling her, and then we went in the train back. We all went from Taj Express, Mathura to Delhi, train used to take 3 hours. They gave prasad to her, they even ignored me. No one even gave me prasad. They said, yeah, this Westerner person. He's too modern. Western person, we are not going to preach to you, you Western person. Okay. So they preached to her and she said, I'm never going to come back. These people are nuts. And the whole time they were preaching to her, I was listening. Then Gurudev was supposed to come to Delhi, not the next day, but the day after. And they were all going to go to the ISKCON. Without telling ISKCON, they were going there. And they were going to do this big Harinam. And she was invited and she said, never again. Oh my God, these people. And I'm listening. So I am the one who turned up, and she didn't, and they were all very surprised to see me. And then they said, okay, you gotta change your clothes. I again turned up in jeans and Western clothes. And so I borrowed somebody else's clothes, they made me more Indian looking. And then I joined Harinam, and then of course I went with Gurudev, and I think within 2 months, I got Harinam. And then within 6 months, I got my Diksha. But, like, people are getting 2 hours, I got 3 minutes when I got my Diksha mantra. And everybody's telling me, Tumbi Didi saying, oh, 5 hours or 3 hours. Savita Didi, it took 4 hours for him to explain Diksha mantras. I'm like, why I got 3 minutes? I'm like, what is he making? Are they getting the whole pranali? Their dress? What is happening here? So yeah, and I was like, I have to hear this. So he was again giving Diksha, another 4 months have passed, to some other people, and I sneaked in and pretended that I'm taking Diksha again. So, yeah, I did that. Because I just wanted, and Maharaj like, I just want to hear what he's saying. At this time, it was another 4, 5, maybe 10 minutes he spoke. I'm still not satisfied. Then another 4 months pass. And this time he was giving Diksha to older Delhi women. It was in a Delhi house. I had decorated it. And I sneaked in pretending to take Diksha. It is the third time. And this time, Gurudev saw me and he said, he started yelling at me. Weren't you here before? Haven't you taken me? Why are you coming here? What is happening? And I said, Gurudev, I don't understand what these mantras mean. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just saying them. I don't know what is happening. And plus, you have to say that in your mind, and my mind goes here and there. I just want to, then we got longer. Then it was like, everybody was 80 years old in that group, and I was the 25-year-old, I think. And then he finally gave, this time, and he allowed me to speak the mantras a little loudly. Because then he announced, you're 80 years old in my head now, because you're taking Diksha with 80 years old. And I got darshan of Raman Manjari. She came out of the, you're not supposed to, I wanted to share it with, yeah, and I was so much like, what do Diksha mantras mean? So when he was explaining Guru Gayatri, there was a Seva Kunj behind him. It was like it was not like I don't know what to call it, vision, not a darshan. Vision of, no, like a three-dimension, like Raman Manjari came out of the picture and became 3-dimension, 7 feet tall. And I'm like, I don't do drugs, like what is happening? And then I went and told this to one of my mentors, Ragleka Didi, and she said, don't ever tell it to anybody. I went and told everybody. Everyone I met. And I, of course, got, my entire relationship with Gurudev was him yelling at me. So, knowing this, these are all very sweet. Gurudev was very sweet. I think the entire time with Gurudev, when he was sweet to me, was once in England. It was Jagannath Rath Yatra, and we had done a Odissi dance thing, so he had liked it. Except every time he used to say things like, that was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. There was 200 Delhi devotees, and I started learning classical Indian music because I was a very bad singer. And after 1 year of lessons, I prepared a bhajan for him. And on the harmonium I started playing. Halfway through, he put his hands in his ears in front of 200 devotees and said, oh, that's so bad. Give me the thing. And then he proceeded to sing the entire bhajan himself and say, that's how it's done. Wow. And I was like, and then all the Delhi Wala devotees said, Manjulali, we give you blessing. You may always sing badly and never improve. So that Gurudev, and I'm like, what? This is ridiculous. Why? And
wow.
Yes, like always, we were in Jagannath Puri. He was giving Rai Ramanan Samvad, morning, evening. So a couple of Delhi ladies and I, we sneaked out during the morning class, and then we were buying saris and doing shopping. In the evening when we came for class, like we were entering, and Gurudev took the mic and said, there are some people who have come to Jagannath Puri to shop for saris. They have not come for class. And I'm like, how does he know we were doing that? How he knows? How he knows what is happening? Somehow he knew. Somehow he knew that this was happening. And so everything. So my entire thing, when I hear these beautiful, he was so loving, he was so sweet, I always only got danda. I always got kind of... Last one, when Atul and I got together, we were not supposed to get together, we got together. Atul, Gurudev had other plans for Atul. Yes. So every time he would say something to Atul would burst into tears. And he would talk to me, I said, Gurudev, why are you always making him cry? So Gurudev said, what am I supposed to do? Tell him to come sit in my lap? So I said, at least he could be. He said, it's all your fault. You are Maya Devi. And you have taken my very intelligent disciple who is like me, so dear to me, and you've taken him away. I said, what are you talking about, Gurudev? He is Maya Devi and I am your most favorite disciple. And he has taken me away from you. And Gurudev started laughing very hard. Yeah. But so when I hear all this Gurudev giving explanation, love, It was more, yes, always yelling at me. Always telling me I am bad singer, bad dancer, bad actor. Yes.
There's others.
I don't know anything. So, but I love it. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
We'll stop at 12:30 because we have to do.
12:20.
12:20. No, we have to 12:30. We'll stop. We have to start. We have to do so many things.
I know, it's like 12:20.
12:30.
It's 12:20 now. It's already 12:20.
He said we had to stop at 12:20. Okay, so we're done?
Yeah.
So we'll continue this afternoon.
Right, there's this evening as well.
Please, everybody come in the evening.
Yes.
I have Maha Prasad from Gurudev.
What time is the evening begin? What time is it?
5
p.m. On the flyer. Speak the flyer into action.
Lions at 5, RT at 6, Arikata 6:30, glorification 6:30 p.m.
Thank you.
That's
Energy of an easy.
Point it to there so we can look at that.
But Taha, why don't you speak because he's your Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna do 2 RTs.
What was this?
We'll do 2 RTs, you said? Yeah, 2 RTs. What do we do? What do we Of course. I don't know my
Saji, you want to say?
Sing together, everyone. All together. Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma Shri Guru
Jaya
Jai Shri Shri Guru Garanga Gandhari Kagiridari Shri Shri Radha Gunari Juki Jai Shri Radha Govinda Juki Jai Shri Sakshi Nandana Gaurari Ki Jai Jai Nityalila Krishna Om Vishnu Parastota Shri Shri Mad Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalila Krishna Om Vishnu Parastota Shri Shri Mad Bhakti Vedanta Vamana Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nityalila Krishna Om Vishnu Parastota Shri Shri Mad Bhakti Vedanta Bharati Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Vishnu Vishnu Pada Sota Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Nitya Vishnu Vishnu Pada Sota Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragya Keshava Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Nitya Vishnu Vishnu Pada Sota Shri Srimad Bhakti Santa Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai Shri Mahabhagavad Shri Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Krishna Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Gauridatta Charya Srila Baladev Vishnu Ki Jai Shri Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai Srinivas Samana Purushaya Ki Jai Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Sam Goswami Purus Ki Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Sarup Damodar Roy Ramanadi Shri Gaur Parsha Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Ramacharya Shri Haras Thakur Ki Jai Shri Navadit Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan Dwarasa Shri Braj Mandala Ki Jai Shri Radha Kund Shama Kund Ganga Jamuna Tulsi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Gopeshwar Mahadeva Ki Jai Shri Yogamaya Purnamasi Devi Ki Jai Shri Devi Ki Jai Shri Jagannath Subhadis Narsam Chakra Ju Ki Jai Shri Jagannath Dhama Ki Jai Shri Singha Bhagavan Ki Jai Maharaj Ki Jai Chari Sampradaya Ki Jai Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Antara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Shri Radha Govinda Mandir Lachava Ki Jai Shri Gurudev's Avirbhav Mahotsava Ki Jai Gaura Premanande
Nityanela Parishram Vishmat Paramahamsa Srotrishna Shriman Bhaktivedanta Shri Narayan Goswami Maharaj Paripavan Shri Gurudeva Ki Jai Acharya Shri Gurudeva Ki Jai Shri Gurudeva Ki Jai Gaur Premanande
Oh,
He just pulled a bunny string. Trying to rope me like drug with you.
Alright, folks, make them this one. What's going on? This is the 7 sets of 5.
This is a very old process that Param Gurudev revived. It was like lost. Param Gurudev found all the research so finally this process for Vyasa.
There's no space to eat. You can eat here in the temple room. We clean it up after.
What's in there? There's no space.
That's sand.
So let's bring your plates.
Sand to keep the flags up. Although Kishore didn't do this properly because it should be set in a particular way, but he put them in a linear fashion. This is not geometric, sacred geometry.
I was like,
Anyways, you tried your best, but that's all I want to hear from you. And then,
By the way, this is my first. This was the first time I ever did this.
great job.
you did a great job.
Dude, this was stopped for like 5 or 6 years.
But,
Let's go have this.
Dude, none of this was planned. This was